Nasikia maji akiongea, lakini amepotea tena.
Get you here. Yes, good morning. Hardness and Veronica and Healthy. Are you able to get me?
Yes.
So I had shared some notes in line with what we were doing yesterday, which I believe you have also seen them. Kindly confirm if you have seen the notes. Wisdom problems. So I just want us to, if you can confirm on your screen, you'll be able to see the notes so that I will share. So kindly confirm if you are able to see those notes. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see the screen. So I want us to just have a look at those notes, starting where we reached yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about listening and observation as one of the key skills, a technique that is used in counseling. So in line with the same, I want us now to continue. We go to asking questions. That is also a technique that you can use in counseling. Remember, as you ask questions, you will also be able to get information from the client about maybe a problem. And from such questions that you are going to ask, you will also be able to get to understand also the problem that the client is going through. So they are not you have to have. Yeah. So given you a sample of the questions, for example, questions can occur in two the closed-ended questions, and we also have the if you're able to see can someone read the first question, that is a closed-ended question.
This one is good.
Can you read for us?
Closed question.
Yes.
A closed question is the practice of
a question
that can be answered as a
yes
yes or no.
no.
Closed
Closed
questions
question
should
should
generally
generally be avoided in the counseling
relationship,
relation
not
to encourage
deeper
deeper
exploration.
exploration.
Yes. So in line with the closed-ended questions, so we have seen that the questions they have to be avoided because such questions will not give you maybe a complete or detailed about maybe the problem that the client is going through. Yeah. So if you are going to ask them, ensure that they are meaningful. So don't ask too many questions of a yes or maybe a response because about the client problem. Is that clear? Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh? About open-ended questions. Can we have somebody else? Veronica, are you out there?
Yes.
Yes. Can you read for us the open-ended questions and see whether we are supposed to use them in counseling?
An open question is necessary to gather information. An open question is one that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no, and it requires exploration on the client's end. Every open question should be intentional and therapeutic.
So are we allowed to use the open-ended questions?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
so
is
we are
encouraged.
it's encouraged to use open-ended questions because they will allow us now to gather the in-depth information about the client's problems. Besides questioning, we also have reflection. We have Basilia.
Reflections
Basilia.
are used in the counseling process. Reflections are
Continue.
used in the counseling process to
Uh-huh.
accurately describe the client's state, externally
Yeah.
from their verbal or nonverbal cues.
No, don't read external link.
Look for the description, feeling in a client's statement. It can also be helpful to look to a client nonverbal feeling cues.
So that is one. Another one is restating or rephrasing. Mhm. Who else is there? Veronica.
Restating and rephrasing. Restating and rephrasing can build a stronger client-therapist relationship. Rephrasing a client's statement allows you to better understand what a client has just said and to gain further clarity if you have gotten it wrong.
Yeah, so when it comes to this, maybe the client has narrated the story about his or her problems, yeah, but you can also restate or rephrase that statement that the client has said concerning his or her. So the reason as to why you are rephrasing is to enable you now to get to understand the information clearly, and also to allow the client also get to understand what it means by the statement that he or she has given out. Affirmation. So actually, when it comes to rephrasing, you are going to restate it maybe in your own words, not necessarily the same words that the client used. Is that clear?
Yes.
Then affirmation. The next person. Whoever is ready can continue with affirmation.
Affirmation. Affirmation, a form of encouragement that is used to affirm behaviors or life choices. Affirmation is important for empowering clients. A few common affirmations include affirming process that a client has made towards a goal, or encouraging a client to do what is important for them.
So there comes a time, remember we say that in the counseling process, you are also encouraged to allow the client to air out his or her views concerning how the helping process has to be. So at times the clients might also be right in line with what needs to be done. So it's not that you are always going to maybe dispute whatever the client says. So sometimes you can also confirm that actually what the client is saying is true, and that is not the direction that you are going to follow. We have empathy. Empathy. Basilia?
Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. It is much more than sympathy in that you are able to show your understanding in your client's feeling, surrounding, and experience.
So that is empathy. So what happens in counseling is that we normally discourage you being sympathetic. It's not bad to sympathize with the client, but that one has to be minimal. But you can empathize with the client. Remember, if you sympathize with the client, you are making that situation more as to that person. So you can just try to put yourself in the shoes of the client and see how the client feels going through that problem. So that's why we normally talk about being empathetic, but not sympathetic. Sawa? Yeah.
Yes.
So you need to be more empathetic than sympathetic in counseling. No. Genuineness, Agnes.
Is creating congruence between yourself and your words. Every therapist is different and will provide a different therapeutic process. It is important to remain genuine in all counseling techniques and verbal and non-verbal cues.
Yeah. So, you need to be genuine. Yeah? You need to remain genuine in all counseling techniques and also verbal and non-verbal cues. You have an unconditional positive regard. Who else is there? Unconditional positive regard.
Unconditional positive regard. Demonstrating unconditional positive regard is the idea of accepting your client for who they are. It is a means of expressing warmth and respect.
Yes. So when we look at the principles, there is that principle of acceptance. meaning that you need to accept the client where he or she is. So sometimes the client might come from a different cultural background. Most of the practices there are not accepted in your own culture. Yeah. So you need to accept. And remember, acceptance here does not mean that you have approved what the client is doing. Yeah. Just accept the client where he is in line with maybe with the behavior. Some of them may have some behaviors that are not desirable. But the thing is that you are there to help the client. So put a cover on such kind of things and accept, yeah, and have create that warmth environment that is also welcoming, so that you can encourage the client also to air out his or her views clearly. So let the client feel free whenever you are interacting with him. Is that clear?
Yes.
Counselor self-disclosure.
This is a tricky counseling skill to maneuver. A general rule to follow is to only share personal information that is beneficial to the therapeutic process. It might also be used to help the counselor relate better with their client.
Yeah, so sometimes when you also have your own personal issues, you're not going to disclose everything to the client, not unless that information that you are sharing is important to the therapeutic process or the counseling or health process. You're not just going to disclose personal information, not unless it is important. It will have to contribute towards the success of what? The counseling process or the helping process. So can we go through the challenges that are encountered in counseling? Remember, we have quite a number of challenges or setbacks. So these are some of the factors that might hinder the successful effectiveness of the counseling process. So we may not exhaust all of them. We just shared a few of those challenges, but you are encouraged also to move this so that you can to understand other challenges. So there are some that I've shared. One is expenses that are involved. It might be expensive. Yeah, I think that one is self-explanatory. We have a culture, which is a rigid culture. So some communities may have culture that does not allow maybe maybe female counselors. So if you are working in such a community, you will not be regarded as a counselor or someone who can assist these individuals. Yeah. So they do not believe that female counselors can also provide some support to the members of the community. So that is in line with the culture of the community that you are working in. Who can explain for us the age differences and how it can affect the counseling process?
Age difference. Maybe you as a counselor, you could be younger than your client. So your client might think you don't have anything to offer, any advice or give them a solution. So they might put you down.
Yeah, exactly. That one is true, in line with the age differences. Then we have ideological differences. Ideological differences. What are differences in ideas? Agnes, can you explain how this one can affect counseling?
I'm not sure.
Yes, Agnes, do you think the differences in ideas can affect the counseling process? Not sure.
Yes.
So
It can affect.
Line with this, affect. For example, if you need to, the counseling process has to be at all. Yeah, you need to allow the client also to air out his or her views. Yeah, so sometimes the client may suggest that we need to do this so that we can solve the problem. But you, as a counselor, you realize that what the client is suggesting is not what needs to be done. Yeah, so you realize that there are conflict between the views, and also the ideas of the client. Is that clear? Basilia, can you explain for us how language barrier can affect counseling, can hinder the effectiveness of counseling?
Okay, language barrier is where that you find a client who doesn't understand your language, either in English or Swahili. Therefore, he or she wants you to use his or her language, which you may not understand it.
Okay, so the client may be noting the story about his or her problem in their local language. Remember, you are not conversant with that language. Yeah, you do not understand the language that the client is also using to air out his or her views. So that can also be a challenge. Number 6. Number 6. Nani hajaongea hapa? Can someone take from there?
Number 6, the client may have more than one problem, sometimes twisted questions which may take more time and more counseling session. In my opinion, maybe what the client is really saying is not what is the actual problem. There could be an underlying issue.
Exactly. So that was number 7. What about number 6?
Language barriers. Maybe as a counselor, you're not maybe fluent in Kiswahili and you're working where people speak Swahili. So maybe you will not be able to express some words or communicate properly with the client.
Exactly.
For examples.
So the client may also be unable to explain him or herself due to poor communication skills, so maybe fear. Yeah, you did not establish that rapport during the first meeting with the client. So remember, when you meet with the client for the first time, you need also to encourage the client, to let the client feel free so that he or she can be able to share out the views without any fear. So those are just some of the challenges that are likely to be encountered in the counseling process. So if you have a question, you can ask. Yes, I can see we have only 1 minute left. Any question? Any question? Okay, if there's no question, allow me now to end the meeting. So, we have a next class, I think, next week for counseling. So thank you very much for your daily lesson.
Day.
Next lesson. Have a good day.